Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves is one of many Republican leaders opposing President Biden's vaccination push, despite the fact that Mississippi has one of the highest rates of COVID deaths per capita. But Governor Reeves maintains vaccine mandates are an overreach.
The question here is not about what we do in Mississippi. It's what this president is trying to impose upon the American worker. The president very much wants you and everyone else to believe that this is a fight between politicians. The reality is this is an attack by the president on hardworking Americans and hardworking Mississippians who he wants to choose between getting a jab in their arm and their ability to feed their families.
Mississippi Today senior political reporter Bobby Harrison joins me now with more. Hi there, Bobby. So Mississippi's Governor Tate Reeves has been a vocal opponent of the president's push to vaccinate more Americans, especially when it comes to mandating vaccinations in some cases. What is the basis for the governor's position as Mississippi deals with some of the highest COVID death rates in the nation?
Yeah, I had looked today, but just a couple of days ago, we had the highest per capita rate in the country. As a matter of fact, if Mississippi was a country, we would be second only Peru in terms of having the highest rate in the world. The governor has said he plans to join other Republican governors in filing a lawsuit challenging those mandates President Biden handed down. You know, the kind of the ironic thing is before President Biden announced those mandates, during a press conference, Governor Reeves said that he didn't think the government had the right to impose vaccine mandates on individuals. And it was pointed out to him during that press conference that, you know, here in Mississippi, we have a lot of vaccine mandates for kids to go to school, for teenagers or older or people to go to college. And when we pointed that out to him, he didn't really have an excuse we asked him would he oppose those mandates too. He never did give us an answer. And now his answer is if the legislature or congressional or the Congress would impose those mandates, that'd be one thing. But he says he doesn't believe one person has the right to impose such mandates. So we'll see how that works out.
Well, Mississippi has some of the strictest vaccine requirements in the country. Children must be vaccinated against 9 diseases to enter school with no allowance for religious exemption. Bobby, has the state dealt with any resistance to those vaccines?
Well, yeah, there's been, just about every year at the legislature, there's efforts by groups to remove those mandates. And, you know, Governor Reeves served 8 years in the legislature, if you will, as lieutenant governor and he, in that position, he served as a presiding officer of the Senate. And he never tried to change any of those mandates. As I said earlier, he only kind of just in recent, during COVID-19 started expressing his concerns about vaccine mandates. He never expressed any concerns before. And as you said, there's multiple mandates for kids to go to school, and there's additional mandates for students when they enroll in college. But he's taking a different tune now.
What are some of the challenges, Bobby, unique to Mississippi in trying to contain this latest COVID surge? Well,
we have one of the lowest vaccination rates in the country. Where at different times we've been at the bottom. Right now, I think we're like 48, 47th, somewhere right in there. We have a high level of poverty, and we have probably per capita less access to medical providers, doctors, hospitals, and stuff. So for much of August, when we were leading the nation in terms of spikes in COVID, all our hospitals were filled, and ironically, the governor turned to the Biden administration for help with to bring more doctors and nurses and other healthcare providers to the state, because our hospitals were literally begging for help, and the federal government stepped in to provide that help.
Well, another development in Mississippi with national implications, the Supreme Court has just agreed to hear a direct challenge to Roe v. Wade on December 1st. Explain how the Dobbs versus Jackson women's health case ended up in the nation's highest court.
Well, in 2018, I believe it was, the legislature passed a bill that the previous governor signed that prevented abortions after 15 weeks and didn't even provide exceptions for rape and incest. That law was halted or stayed by lower courts, both on the district and Court of Appeals level. the Supreme Court agreed to hear the case, and after the Supreme Court agreed to hear the case, Attorney General Elaine Fitch, as the Attorney General, said, as long as you're hearing the case, not only should you uphold this law, but you should just overturn Roe v. Wade. So everybody's watching across the nation now to see what happens in December when the courts hear that case.
Well, aside from the pending Supreme Court hearing, what other national attention has this case brought?
Well, I mean, this could be this could theoretically be a case that overturned Roe v. Wade. So it's tremendous national attention. Interestingly, the Solicitor General, which Lynn Fitch hired, our Attorney General hired to argue this case, is a gentleman named Scott Stewart, who worked in the Trump Department of Justice, and he argued a lot of the immigration, some of the controversial immigration cases for President Trump while he was in the Department of Justice. And now he'll be arguing before the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade.
All right, Bobby Harrison for us. Bobby, thanks very much for joining us.
You bet. Thank you.